Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here from So Magical Michelle Creates, a creative expressions video, podcast style video where we talk about works in progress, finished objects if there's any, life updates, all of the things. There are chapter links below. If there's a link to things like this, there's always a link in my videos to this. Oh. And Millie, who fell down thanks to cats that had to get in here for a minute. I don't know how to get Millie to stay up there right now, so hopefully she stays up. Anyway, there are always links to those in the description, and I add links to anything else that I have down below. All right, so before we get going any further, remember to hook that subscribe button, knit the like button, and of course, leave some yarn in the comments. Alrighty. I did check today to make sure that my audio is recording, so it should be. I would be so disappointed if it wasn't. Finished objects. Not exactly any, really. I have not been super productive when it comes to yarny stuff. Main focus was getting ready for my daughter's birthday and things to do with that. I'm distracted by noise in the other room. Hold on. Okay, so main things that I have been doing, we've been working on books and things as well. So ShiAnne's birthday and books. If you didn't watch it, we had a live with Lori, the armchair chef, last night. So much fun. I'm recording this on Tuesday. So for you guys, it would be the night before last because it's Wednesday when this comes out. But I'm recording it on Tuesday because Monday was crazy getting ready for the live. ShiAnne and Lori have a birthday on the same day. ShiAnne is my daughter that shows up with me in lives Monday nights at 7:30, guys. Come join us. 7:30 Mountain Time. And you never know. We had ended up, we had planned 4 giveaways. Last night's giveaways were all ones where you had to be on the giveaway live to get them. And so we had 4 giveaways and we ended up with 5 winners because of some weird Nightbot confusion. But it was great. It was awesome. And so before we move on to crochet and knit stuff, let me show you what we were giving away and talk about things of similar nature. So let's move on to the journal section. All right, Lori, and I apologize. I don't know if you can see that through. My friend wrote on this one. She wants us to sign it. And her marker bled through. Be careful if you're going to use permanent marker on the inside of the cover. It does bleed. But we have the Hang in There journal that has been out. It was our first one we put out. It's got college-lined pages with cute little guys at the bottoms. I love journals, so I'm very excited. I've been using mine in my studies. I'll talk about in a bit because that's life updates. Got cute little guy on the back as well. So Lori gave 2 of these away. Our extra winner also got one that I sent out that's in the mail. So 3 people ended up with that journal last night. Before I move on, I want to remind you guys that I have a fatter one that's black, so they're different sizes. This one's there's 140 lined pages in this one, and there are not lined pages. These are blank pages, except for the little figures at the bottom. And there are 280 of the blank pages. One of my sons has one of these, and he has been sketching so much. It's great. So we have these. Now, in the mail If it comes in the way that I'm hoping that it will, because it's coming today, I will put a picture of it. I ended up with a hardbound version of the sketchbook. Love it, seriously love it. Will make some changes, but no, probably not. The thing that I didn't like is, see, this is glossy. These are both glossy and shiny, and I like the matte, but I did not want this matte. I wanted it glossy. I might have some in the future that are matte. Just depends. It depends on the color we use. Depends on a lot of things. And so I am hoping the books that are coming today are glossy. If not, if you order one of these, it will be glossy. Because I did get it changed. I'm just not sure if the changes affected the order that is coming today or not. So those are all available on my website, which I will link below. I will link directly to the journals page. If you want to buy any of my crochet patterns, they're also there for, they sell for $3 on Etsy. I have one for $2.75 on my website. These journals are all on my website. They do sell for a little less on my website, or you can buy them directly from Amazon. On my website, there's a link to the Amazon page that you can get all of the books that we've posted on Amazon. I actually need to go back in and set up so that, like, if you go to the product listing for this book, it will show you or give you a direct link to Amazon for these books. And if you go to the product listing for this, it will give you the direct link. I haven't fixed that yet. It was a thought I had this morning, so I will be fixing that. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about those journals. Oh yeah, they're a little bit cheaper on my website than on Amazon directly, but if you order directly through Amazon, you get it in like 2 or 3 days. If you order it through me, you have to wait for me to, I get the order, I have to sit down and put the order into Amazon, and then it takes a couple weeks because Amazon sees author copy and says, oh, we can take longer on this. We prefer paying customers first. So it does take a little bit longer, but if you want to pay a little bit less, get it from a website. We would very much appreciate that because we get those royalties instantly, whereas when we have to order through, or when we have to wait for the royalty check to come from Amazon later. So we definitely would prefer you to order from our website, but you do you. If you want it faster, I'd completely understand. I'd pay the few cents more to get it directly from Amazon sometimes too. All right, so that's one of the journal sets that we have, but I have been working on another. I have 2 books in pre-order. Hopefully within a few days, I will have a 3rd book in pre-order. They're actually 4th book. I want a 4th book in pre-order. And they're pretty much all the same. There are differences, and I'm so excited. So I am going to put a picture up of our cover for our knitting project journal. And what I didn't mention about the hang in there is that there are printables that also come with digital stickers. So I will put a digital sticker of one of these guys up here so that you can see. I will put it here over whatever so you can see it's clear, and then I'll put a background so you can actually see it. And it'll just be one of the digital stickers. I don't know which one I'll use. So for the knitting journal, let me tell you what it is. The size of it, I did not say this in my live last night. These books are 6x9. The size of the knitting journal project journals are actually 8.5 by 11. Please comment below if you would like the smaller version, like a 6x9. For example, this is 8.5 by 11 paper. So this would be the size difference. I know I want to make a just generic project journal in this size because I think it would be perfect to put in a project bag. But if you want a knitting journal in this size, let me know as well, because I think Amazon will let me do that where they're different sizes. They don't like it when people just change the cover on things and keep the same insides. But I think if you're making 2 sizes of the same thing, they're okay with that. Also, if you want me to make a hardbound version of this, it would stay skinny like this. But if you want a hardbound version of this journal, put that in the comments below. That would be super easy for me to make, because I just use the same inside, and then I just have to do slight modifications for the cover. Super easy to make. I'm not sure how much more it would cost, because I base my prices based off Amazon. I will get back to talking about the knitting journals and project journals, I promise. So this one is on Amazon at $6.47. Oh, is this one? I'm gonna go look really quick. This one is $6.47 on Amazon. It's $6.17 on my website. This one is $9.47 for the fatter book, and on my website it's $8.97. And then for the hardbound, it's $16.97 on Amazon and $16.17 on my website. So it is a little bit more money. It's the hardbound. It's the fatter than the other one. So I base my prices for these books based on the what Amazon charges. Sorry, I have to plug my laptop in. I just realized. I base my prices so that I'm making approximately the same on everything, trying to keep them fairly low, but also we need to make a little bit of money. All right, so for the knitting journal, like I said, it is going to be full-size sheet of paper size. On Amazon, it will end up being $6.97. I have ordered a proof copy, which will come tomorrow, and I will check to make sure it's printed the way I want it. If I get any feedback before I submit it, I can make some changes to the format of the book a little bit. Hopefully have that up for sale this weekend. We'll see. And then also, as soon as we get the artwork for other books, we'll get those up for sale as well. And those I'm not going to wait to order or approve, because I know they're pretty much just the same as this. I will just make sure I've got the art and stuff. So these journals, they'll be soft bound, 8.5 by 11, $6.97. If you want a smaller one, let me know. Those will probably be $6.47 like the hang in their journal, because size wise they'll be a little cheaper to print. Also, this here is all but the very first page of my knitting journal printable pack, which is also for sale on my website. So let me tell you about the sale for this really quick before I show you what's in it. If you get it before May 1st, you can pay 99 cents on my website. Otherwise, it will be $1.49 until I put it up for sale on Etsy, in which it will be like probably 25 cents, 20 cents. Like, it'll be a little bit cheaper on my website than Etsy. Okay, so it will be up there. It'll probably be $3 on Etsy, I'm guessing. No stickers for this one, just the printables. I might make a sticker pack once we get all of the art, if I feel like they would make a cute pack. So in the printable pack, you get a page that has the picture. So you can get, so like if you wanted to print it out as a binder page, you've got a cover page for it. So you've got that. You've got this page that says, remember to let your light shine through your creations, at So Magical Michele on YouTube. Find more at www.livefantastical.com. Copyright Live Fantastical. So Live Fantastical is the name of ShiAnne and I's business. The next page in the printer pack is a picture of the cow knitting. You could color it if you wanted. And it's got a few lines. Can you see the few lines? So that you can like put a title or something on that page. Her art is so adorable. And then we have a yarn weight cheat sheet that tells you what the number would be, what the category name would be, common names for it, and wraps per inch. So I've got that page. And then these are there's some similarities between the project journals. So in the knitting journal, you have a knitting journal sheet. It has knitting journal sheet, that didn't come out right. Knitting needle size chart. So it has the millimeters, the US term, and the UK terms. So it's got a chart that has that. In the crochet book, it will have crochet book or printables. It will have the crochet hooks, letters and numbers, and it has steel crochet hooks, similar things. So we'll have a page for that. So kind of we're swapping out knitting and crocheting things. These pages are the same pages that are going to be in the book, or you can get them in the printable. If you buy the printable and then I end up making changes to the printables before I upload or before I actually publish the book, I will send out the changes to you in the printables. So once you buy them, if I make any updates to them, I will send out those changes to you. That is if you buy it off my website. If you buy it off of Etsy, I can't really let you know, hey, I've got an updated version of it. That's not how Etsy works. So you'd have to watch my channel and then go download it again, and I think it might be updated then. I'm not sure how it works with Etsy. So yeah, the crochet book, the printables are there. You can buy the printables now. So you could buy this crochet version printables. When I get the picture, I will send out the new file so you could have the cover photo. Got it? Got it. Okay, then the next thing I have is these two pages. And these are just charts that have a small column and a fat column. The small column says abbreviation and the fat column says meaning. And these two pages are so that you can make notes on any abbreviations that you need to go back and know what they mean again. There are so many knitting and crochet abbreviations that I was like, I'm not going to list them all. I know a knit means knit, a K means knit, and a P means purl. I don't want that on a cheat sheet because I'm not going to go back and look at it. But KFB, knit front and back, right now I remember it, but there's been times I've gone to the pattern, I'm like, what does KFB mean? What does KFB mean? And if I have it on a sheet like this, then I can go back and look at it. So I wanted to give you guys a place where you could record your own notes about abbreviations that you see in your patterns. So then we move on to the project pages. In the journals, there are 33 of these sets of pages. So let me tell you what is on each page as of right now. Like I said, if I get feedback before I publish the books, I will change these to whatever you're like, this is missing, or I would change that, or information like that. Okay, so at the top here, I have a little picture of knitting needles. It's a crochet hook in the crochet book. Project name. And then below that, you've got pattern name. And you have a place where you can write designer. So you can write in the designer if you want to, because a lot of people reference designers, right? The size. So that's like if you're making a large, then you have a note of what size you made. Who it's for. The due date, the start date, and the finish date. Needle sizes, gauge notes. So if you would, obviously needle sizes would be hook notes. Gauge notes will tell you, you know, where you could write if you were on gauge or if you made a swatch, what your gauge is, things like that. Yarn notes, it's a little bit bigger section. If I need more space for gauge notes, please let me know. Yarn notes, color type, white, weight, amounts, fiber, you know, like whatever notes you want to make about your yarn. Other supplies that you may need to note. There's a space for care instructions. If you want me to add another line to that, let me know. Total cost of materials. This works for whether or not you're selling things. Sometimes you just need to know, how much did I pay for yarn for that person's gift or to make my sweater, if you want to note that stuff. And then I have a little section here that says commission, sale price, time spent, and profit. There's a few lines below that, so you can make some notes if you need to. And then I have a whole section here called reflections. Okay, so that's the first page of the project page. The next page is a page of lined notes. At the top I say notes. Consider modifications, tips and tricks, ideas and changes for next time, etc. You can put any kind of notes on this page. Okay? And then I have this page at the top. It says sketches, paste images, yarn samples, etc. And it is, I don't think I can get it to where you can see. There is tiny little dots. It is a dot grid page, and then this one is a completely blank dot grid page. So there's dots. I think you could kind of see it. So that's the 4 pages of the notes. You have 2 dot grids. You can sketch things, paste things in, a lined page, and a notes page. I know some people, especially like if you're making a temperature blanket, you want to put in all your colors in your stuff, and those would be great pages for that. If you want to tape in your gauge swatch, things like that. So everywhere that it's a knit reference, it's switched to crochet. You can pre-order the crochet book. You can pre-order the knitting book. You can download a, as far as I know, complete knitting pack. And you can download the crochet pack. And like I said, when I make any changes, when I get the cover photo for it, I will send the new one out to you. And what else? I'm in the process of making a sewing one. I have been talking to someone about kind of things that I would need to put in that, how I would need to change that to accommodate sewists. When I sewed, I never kept notes on anything, so like my brain doesn't even like comprehend what I actually need. So that's why I'm talking to her. I'm having her look through this and be like, okay, this is great, but this needs to change. I'm thinking I might, what do you guys think? On the project page where I say who it's for, I might put a check box with the thing at the end of that line that says gift, so that you can mark it's a gift. But you tell me what you guys think. And so I'm making a sewing one. I'm actually planning to make just a general project one where I'm going to take like all of the things and kind of make it into a general book that you could use for sewing. You could use it for embroidery. You could use it for knitting. If you want an embroidery book or a cross stitch book, actually that would be really fun. I think I'm going to see if I can make that. An embroidery cross stitch one. Tell me what you would need for that. so that I can make you guys a version of that. We are planning to kind of stick with the farm animal theme. The general project book, we're going to try to have all the different animals that we make for the different books represented. We're working on that. I don't know how long it will take ShiAnne to get there, because I think we've got to figure out what animals we're making for the different books. But I'm excited about that. I will keep you posted when new books are available for pre-order or purchase or whatever. So yeah, until May 1st, the printables are 99 cents. After that, until they are officially up on Etsy, they are $1.49. And when they go officially up on Etsy, they will be probably like $2.75, $2.77, I think. And then on Etsy, they're going to be like $2.79, $2.99, $3, somewhere along there. I can't remember right now what I'm thinking. All right. Whew, lots of talking about books, but I'm excited about these. More books we have going. We're still working on my devotional book. I'm so excited to get that one done. And we have we saw the animal one that I am updating, or I'm editing pictures for that. I will put one of the pictures here so you can see the cute little creatures that are going to be at the bottom of those journals, or top, or somewhere on the page. We're thinking of making that one both lined and plain pages as well. Let me know what you think. I love having a plain page journal, but I also love having a lined journal. So like a sketch pad in a journal. I love that idea. So these are cute little characters that you can color, or you can just leave there. And so we're working on that, working very hard, but the pen ShiAnne used ended up bleeding. So we got a lot of extra editing to do on the computer, which it kind of sucks, but they are turning out so cute. So we're working on those. We're working on, and then we also have our next idea, because I'm going to move into life updates now and talk about it and talk about my journal at the same time. We are learning Old English, Anglo-Saxon. Anglo-Saxon period is from like 500 to 1100 in Old England. And they spoke Old English, which is definitely a Germanic language. They had a few Roman words because the Romans had been in the England area and then they left. But so there was a few Roman words that got mixed in with the Anglo-Saxons when the Anglo-Saxons came over from Europe, mainland Europe, into England. And then along the way, the Vikings also came in. So there's a little bit of Norse influence as well. But when you learn Old English, you can see that it's Germanic. Like Geburtstag, that is German for birthday. In Old English, it's Geburtstag. You can see the little thing. I realized, I forget how much I don't have a lot of knowledge of German, but I took some in high school and I've been doing the Duolingo thing with German. And so I know that mit, M-I-T, means with. I know that from German. So when I was reading something in Old English that had M-I-D, I already knew, oh, that means with. I showed it to my daughter. I was like, can you understand that? She was like, middle? I don't get middle. And I was like, oh yeah, my German influence affected my ability to understand that. The living language that is most close to Old English is called Frisian. And it is from Friesland in the Netherlands. It is, the Germans call it Friesland. Friesland in the Netherlands. I may be pronouncing that wrong, so don't quote me. It is a province in the Netherlands that is closest to England. So when you look at the Netherlands, this section closest to England, that is where the Friesland, and they speak Frisian there. And it is the closest to Old English that we have. And then it's like Friesland, Dutch, German, kind of, as far as the similarities go. So it's really fun. And as a part of that, I have learned about some of the I've learned a little bit about runes. I've learned a little bit about the old letters. The Old English had 6 vowels. They had the A, they had A, E, I, O, and U, like we have. They were A, E, I, no, E. E. It's kind of an E. O, and U. Okay. They also had ash, which is written with that little, I'll put it up here, the AE together symbol, capital and lowercase. And then they also had the Y as, which was O. So it's like it's not so O, because that's a diphthong, but it's like, you say and you put the U sound, so it's O. O. So you had the U from the U, and you had an U from the Y. Okay. And then each one of those had long. I finally understand why we have long vowels. You know, in English, it's A and A. Those were the vowels meaning. Well, in Old English, they actually had the ash said A, and the ash with a line, which we write with a line over it, but the long ash is A. And you had the A that said and a long A said and you had the E that said and the long E said A, because it's like, it's longer, so it's like A, but it comes up kind of A. And then you had the I that says and the long E says kind of, if you hold that it kind of goes E, so it's E. That's the way people are pronouncing it. There's no actual known way that people are pronouncing these, because it's a dead language. So they just have ways that they infer and decide this is probably what it sounded like. And we're going by that. The O is O to O. So the word God is God, and the word good is goad. So, and then, so the phrase God is good is God is goad. I love it. And then the U is U and U. And the Y is and So, like, long vowels actually meant you held the sound for long. I love it. I geek out on this stuff. So, you had those vowels. Well, you had the ash, which is that AE thing. It came from the thorn ash, which was written kind of like an F. But there was a couple of other things that they had. They had what's called an eth, which looks like a backwards 6 with a line through the stem. Their D's were also written backwards 6 like. And it's pronounced eth or eth, used interchangeably. It's still used in Icelandic, which in Icelandic they use it for eth. Or they use it for th. It's called an eth. They use it for th. And then in the other sound, like, because you got TH says and TH says th, and the th sound is made by a thorn in Icelandic. And the thorn looks kind of like a P, but it's kind of like a B and a P got married and had a baby. You got the long top and the long bottom and then the circle. So the thorn says th in Icelandic, and in Old English, the thorn and eth are used interchangeably. They could be used for the same word on the same page, written by the same scholar. One time they'll write it as with an eth, and the other time they'll write it with a thorn. So that's a fun letter, and there are people that want to bring that letter back. They're like, why are we writing TH when we could write a thorn? And so that's fun. And then there's another letter. So we've talked about the ash, the eth, and the thorn. And there's one more letter that's called a win. And originally it looked like this. And as it progressed, I'll see if I can put up a few things so you can kind of see how it progressed. To by the time the printing press came out, they decided to let it go, because English was pretty much the only language using the win, which I think is sad because I think it's a beautiful letter. And they replaced it with either two U's together or two V's together. And so in some languages it's a W, two V's. And in English it's a W that looks like V's. Unless you're cursiving, and then it looks like W's. And all that happened because of the printing press. So, and the word win means joy. So one of the things that ShiAnne and I are doing, we're making a notebook that says thorn for the win, which actually means just like a thorn for the joy, which is really fun. Thorn could have meant like strong or protector, or could have just meant a thorn, like that you poke yourself on. But win meant joy, but it said the w sound. So some people would love to bring that back, and I think it would be really fun to bring back the W to like eliminate the W and put a win in, and then also to eliminate TH and add in an extra letter to our alphabet to where we had the thorn. And in all reality, sometimes I think that it would be nice if we would just change our alphabet. There are people that think it would be great to go back to runes, because all of the sounds that we need in English are represented. There's only one sound that says k, which would be so less confusing for all of the people out there who get so confused with K's and CK's and C's and Q's. And anyway, so geeking out on that, excited about that notebook. The thing about that notebook is that ShiAnne will be drawing the thorn and the win. She might write for the in Old English as well. We're not sure about that, but for sure she will be drawing the thorn and she'll be drawing the win, and we're going to be putting little versions of thorn and win throughout the book on the pages. We possibly will do sketch and lined for that as well. All right. Oh my gosh, I am so chatty about notebooks. I'm so almost hyper focused on it and so excited about it. And that's part of the problem with my knitting and crocheting, is I'm so excited about the notebooks that I'm kind of neglecting my crocheting. So I have done absolutely nothing on the mosaic crochet this week. And that is really sad, because I'm really close to finishing another section and yet haven't worked on it. Got hyper focused on this other stuff. I also have not started my Decade Divas. Socks. Have I even made any progress from last week? Let's figure that out. Oh my gosh. Everything's a mess. All intertwined. I put my micro crochet in this bag, and I think that was a mistake. I need to put my micro crochet in a baggie, I think. A smaller thing. One side free. Alrighty! Have I worked on socks at all? And the answer is no. I have not worked on socks. They are still mid-row, which is what I was frustrated with myself about last time. Yeah, I have not. Dang it. And then for my frog, okay, so I was making frog earrings. Now here's the challenge with the frogs. This is the frog. I have done a row since. The problem with the frog is, because of my eyesight, I have to use a magnifying glass while I work on him. and I've been hyper focused on books. The combination has made it so I have not picked up the frog, except for I made one little thing around, which kind of helps his arms stand out a little bit better. So there's that. So my goal today is Tuesday, the 29th. The last day to finish animal stuff is tomorrow, the 30th. So if you haven't turned my stuff in, you have to turn it in today, as of watching this, hopefully. But the animal crochet is due, so I told ShiAnne, I'm going to focus on this. This is my goal for today, is to finish this frog today, so that I at least have one of them done. And maybe she'll just have to be those people that just wears one froggy earring and the other one something else. We'll see. We'll see if I get the second one made. They're cute, they're fun, but oh my gosh, so tiny. And so that brings us to talking about the MagicalMAL. The MagicalMAL, I should have the slideshow up. Probably not as soon as I wanted, not on the 1st, but I should have it up by the weekend. And then the next MAL. So this is the MagicalMAL. It's been an animal theme. We are moving into May. Get started on your mermaid projects. If I do not have a partner for it, I'm still going forward. But please, please sign up to be a partner. I would love to have you be a partner. May is currently, as of recording this, still available. If you want to be my partner for May, or if you want to be my partner in June or July or August or September, we can look through the months. You can help me decide on the theme. For May, the theme is mermaid. So it can be mermaid, it can be ocean. You can do something that looks like oceans. You can do the colors that you would find in the ocean. It could be colors that you find from a mermaid. If you're doing some colors that are like orange and pink and you're saying it's a mermaid, then I want to see the reference photo. You're like, I found this mermaid photo and I want to use this. Same, honestly, if you're using color theme to say, okay, this is my mermaid color theme, and you're picking even ocean blues and stuff, say, this is my inspiration photo. I would love that. Ocean, mermaid. That's the theme. If you want to do a stitch that is mermaid theme, or looks like scales, or looks like waves of the ocean, or something that's actually a mermaid, or something that's actually an ocean. And again, like last time, this is a make-along. MagicalMAL stands for Magical Make-Along, which means crochet, knit, embroider, diamond art, felting, dye yarn. If you want to dye yarn, these blue colors and send that in, perfect. Sewing, art, write us a poem, write us a story, write us a song. I really don't care. Whatever your creation is, please, please. That's what I want to say. And that's the MagicalMAL. I think that's pretty much it for this week. Like I said, I've been hyper-focused on books. I haven't got a lot done. I didn't get my tithing project done because that was ShiAnne's birthday, and we were very busy and had my brother over, had a lot of fun. So yeah, it was really great. We played Monopoly, and ShiAnne skunked everybody. Part of that was because my brother introduced us to house rules. It's her birthday. Does she get started out with double the money, or does she get to start out with Boardwalk? She started out with Boardwalk. Not too long after, she landed on Park Place. Yeah, she won. She won. My brother ditched. He probably would have been good competition, but he had to leave, so he passed his things out to people. He's like, here, you get this, and you get this, and you get this. And then Kalani and I were really close. We were like within $100 of each other, but well under ShiAnne. ShiAnne's like here, we're like here. And the poor little Amy and Hiram, who landed on her properties that had 3 houses on. Yeah, they like ended up with, I think one of them had $148 at the end of the game. One sold their properties and the other mortgaged all their properties. It was funny, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I didn't get that any yarn done that day. ShiAnne and I do have an official business now. We have a DBA general partnership as Live Fantastical. That's actually been really helpful for both of us to just like treat our business stuff as a business. We are counting the YouTube channel as a part of it. I'm not changing the channel name to Live Fantastical. I just know that it is the YouTube channel that I count as my business. I do business as Michele on my YouTube channel. And ShiAnne, I think we're going to make a TikTok that ShiAnne's going to cover for Live Fantastical, but we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, we're making progress in life. It's pretty cool. Things are pretty happy. ShiAnne had a really good birthday. I didn't get as frazzled as I sometimes do when things are a little bit out of control. It was great. So, anyway, I don't really have much to talk about, so I want to tell you guys to remember to let your light shine through your creations, no matter your craft, whether they be art or a, crochet, knitting, whatever. Remember to let your light shine, and I will see you next time. Farewell.